Fa la 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 la. Fa la 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 la. Fa la 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 la. All right. Now, while I do plan to review Titanfall and make a bunch of jokes about it, I'm an asshole like that. I have to do it. I actually want to discuss what Titanfall means to the gaming industry and some of what people consider to be mistakes that were made. You see, typically, when you buy a $60 game, you'd expect something of a story, especially with a multiplayer shooter. Now, before you jump down my throat saying that the game's story revolves around this multiplayer, let me just say that chances are you understand more about your mother's muffin recipes than you understand the story of this game. Because what this game is bare bones, stripped down. She's not wearing any clothes. There's no sparkles here. You know what it is. Focusing mostly, if not all, on the multiplayer. And while I'm sure that the newly formed fanboys of this game are already poised at their computers, just ready to curse me out, typing at their little keyboards for the problem that I'm going to state with this game, the sad thing is, I actually think that not having a real story mode is a good thing for the game, but probably for different reasons. Now, first, money is always a problem. I like to say that most of us out there have at some point in our lives faced money problems, whether not being able to buy the game that we want or no, on the extreme case, food that we wish to eat. And games are no different. Not putting a true story mode into the game is one hell of a money saver. The cost of all the voice actors and the Michael Bay explosions with the Call of Duty set pieces is very risky for the new AAA IP. Now, second would be the hardcore audience. A lot of people complained about the fact that Titanfall only had like 5 to 6 people on each team and the rest were controlled by AI grunts. Well, as a lot of you may know, gaming as a profession has become a little bit more popular over the past few years. But have you noticed that a lot of professional game teams consist of like 5 to 6 players on each team? And outside of the game currently not being on the PlayStation, it meets all the criteria to be taken into the esports circuit. Fast-paced, popular, competitive. I'm not sure about teabagging, and I'm not sure if a mech can teabag. You'll have to inform me on that. So you'll see a lot of that on YouTube now, so does free advertising. And in my personal opinion, well, I won't give that, I'll do that in the review. Third, familiarity, fuck that goddamn word, familiarity. There. The studio behind this game are the guys behind the Modern Warfare series. So given how much people loved the multiplayer there, it's easy to assume that they have a good working knowledge of how to keep the multiplayer as addictive as possible. People always say, do what you're good at. Plus, focusing solely on the multiplayer would allow them to have a lot more multiplayer maps at launch than they would have had if they would have supplied a super story mode. Plus, a large amount of people have openly stated that they only play these types of games anyway for the multiplayer. So yeah, not only was making Titanfall with no real single player a good business decision which probably saved them millions of dollars, it also worked out very well for them because even my cuckoo kachoo ass has to agree from a business standpoint that saving money and focusing on what the people want works well. But either way, every game has its own problems.